I love it here so much. I really love Vajdaságba. It's just a town. But for me, it's not. See every little special thing in every town. Whereas you ask 99 out of 100% people, they would say, it's just a town. I didn't come here to have an easy life. I came here because of my heart, apparently. I'm not this influencer saying, oh, look at my Gucci bag. It's so amazing. It was made with child labor. They don't say that. But you know, I'm trying to be as honest as possible. And that's why I moved here to Serbia, to Vajdaságba. Because here people are very honest. Even the Hungarians here are raw. They say what they want. Without these lovely people, nenis and bachis and also all these amazing young people who follow us, who come when we announce we go to a village, 40, 50 people are there when we arrive. Because of them, we can make a living and we can tell all the stories. 26 different tattoo came out, all of them trying to rip me off. But in a small town like Kubekhaza, you don't earn anything. And the house is 3 times the price of in Denmark, where we earn 3 times as much. A lot of people think Balkan is a bad feeling. Bad word. Yeah, but I mean, here people like to go out. People yell at each other, say, hey, we haven't met in ages. Whereas in Denmark, if you knew someone for 20 years, you meet them on the streets like, hi, not even. And that is the sad truth. And who do I need to prove? I mean, I only need to prove myself. That's also a thing if you want to do business. Only prove yourself, not anyone else. No one is going to come and say, you have to do this. You have to do it yourself. So that dedication is so important to have if you want to be a self-entrepreneur. Happiness is a choice.
A következő vendégem Frederik Cornelius, aki úgy gondolom, hogy egy nagyon különleges vendégem abból a tekintetben, hogy Dániából érkezett, illetve most jelenleg itt él Szerbiában, és már nagyon jó beszél magyarul, illetve szerbül is, de a beszélgetés az mindenképp angolul fog zajlani, ugyanis én próbáltam azért választottam az angolt, mert attól függetlenül, hogy nekem nagyon nehezen ment, és már régen beszéltem angolul, ő számára szerintem a legkönnyebb megnyilvánulási módszer, és én ragaszkodtam hozzá, hogy ő tényleg el tudja mondani a gondolatait, ezért számára nyilván az angol az ilyen tekintetben kézenfekvő. És én úgy gondolom, hogy ő egy nagyon különleges fiatal személy, akitől nagyon sokat tudunk tanulni a hozzáállásából, az élethez való attitűdjéről, ugyanis ő nagyon rövid idő alatt nagyon sok mindent el tudott itt érni. És ezt a különleges képességére én egyébként rá is kérdeztem is, hogy miket tanácsolna az itteni fiataloknak, vállalkozóknak, akik itt szeretnének boldogulni, ugyanis ő nagyon különleges, speciális látásmóddal közelít úgymond az itt élő emberekhez. Ha szeretnéd érteni a teljes beszélgetést, akkor nyugodtan kapcsold be hozzá a magyar feliratot. Amennyiben tetszett a műsor, kérlek iratkozz fel, nyomj egy lájkot, írd meg a véleményed kommentben, akár kritikádat is, és hogyha úgy gondolod, hogy erre a műsorra valakinek szüksége lenne, kérlek oszd meg vele ezt a videót. Nagyon szépen köszönöm.
What did I post?
Mikor voltatok?
No, a quad.
Yes, a quad.
No, it's old.
It's older? Uh-huh.
We always have 2 weeks between because we have so much content.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
2
great.
weeks in front of you? That's my only problem, that I have no content to...
and that's our problem. We have way too much.
I have no content currently.
We could push...
I stopped.
4 times a day and it wouldn't hurt.
Mm-hmm. But who is preparing the content?
I'm editing, she's doing the felirat.
Mm-hmm.
But we also do the music, narration and everything. So it's a lot of work.
You have a lot of job with that.
Yeah, that's one part. Then we also have university. We work with a page.
Mm-hmm.
And many restaurants, podcasts. We have lots of days.
Mm-hmm.
We always started. Have we started?
Yes, we started.
No.
So that's why I told you it will be in medias res.
Cool.
If you know what does it mean.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit stupid sometimes.
No problem. I will find a way that where should we start the conversation. I think that the classic way when I introduce you... I hate that I have to introduce like Frederik, who's that guy is one of the most famous podcaster that she's using a paper and reads everything about the guest, and I don't want to do that because everybody who want to know who you are, they can find you on the internet, especially you.
But I think what you did there when I did the Yesenski one recently. He also, and the worst part was when I went to the studio, no one was there in the studio. It was just him and I, and he said, "Oh, they didn't come yet, but sit down, let's talk a little bit." And I saw the cameras were already recording. And then he started talking politics and stuff, and I knew it, so I also had something recording in my phone. Because you never know. I mean, I did X Factor in Hungary a few years ago. It was so sick what happened. And I needed to make proof of all the crazy stuff that happened, because in these times in Hungary, especially, politics is so extreme. They will do anything to get you down. What's interesting is just how much the landscape politically in Hungary has changed since I moved 5 years ago to Hungary and to now, where you can be a foreign spy. Everything is decreased. It's just like the problem also why I moved to Vajdaságba permanently was because I started to get a lot of threats in Hungary for nothing I did. I was wearing a shoe that said Tisa. You know that
my God, I know.
From
it's a Tisa type.
Yeah, it's very old, from Matfű in Hungary. And that all of a sudden became a big topic of debate in Hungary, and people followed us to our house. And
really?
And it became out of hand. So, but the problem was normally in many countries it doesn't get this extreme, but somehow in Hungary everyone is out with the torches and haystacks and stuff, and ready to go to war with anyone right now, and it's scary. And I work a lot in Hungary. I think I work 80% in Hungary still, which I will continue to. But it's hard when you go any place and then all of a sudden politics is the key thing. I work with culture, but I want to do culture without being told which side to be on. And because I'm a foreigner, I'm not a Hungarian. In 2 weeks, I'm going to cover the whole election for Danish television and radio. And I told them, I'm a foreigner, I'm not on any side, but I know a hell lot of what's happening in Hungary right now, because I worked in places and stuff where I know people high up in the government also. And I can tell what's happening, but I cannot say which side I'm on. And I don't even know myself.
Really hard to be in the middle.
It's hard. And right now, I don't think any parties in Hungary want you to be in the middle. They want you in their side, cost what it will. And it's hard to be there right now. But we are a few weeks before the election. I don't know when this will come out.
I don't know yet.
Maybe after?
I don't know.
No.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I will use it earlier. Just why not? Because currently I told you that I have only one content which is finished, but I need to collect a lot of other people too. Because
that's the hardest part, no?
Yeah. For first time it wasn't that hard because I know a lot of people. My first guest was from Tornyos. You know, Tornyos. And that's why I would like to invite you, because you have a special relation with this kind of nations what you visited first. And how is it possible that somebody is from Dania? How can I say Dania in English?
Denmark.
Denmark. Oh, sorry.
Danimarca.
In your language?
Igen. Denmark. Denmark.
But you born there?
Yeah. Born on a small island. 1,000 people live there.
1,000. How big was that?
Not big. It's like 96% nature is there, I believe. It's we don't have much. When I grew up there, we didn't have internet. We didn't have much stuff. Once a month, the water would shut down.
Why?
Because problems would happen. Our electricity would be gone for half a day. So it was like, very old school when I grew up there, whereas the rest of Denmark was very modernized at that time. So yeah, it's far away. It's very far away. But we moved to up North Zealand. It's called close to Copenhagen on the coast. We moved there when I was around 8, 9, because there was no jobs on the island. But it's a very nice place. If you ever go to Læsø, it's a very nice place.
What's the name?
Læsø.
Hungarians
can pronounce it, I think. It's in the same Læsø. Så szerintem ez jó. Jó hely volt.
When did you come to Hungary first time?
2018, I believe, or 17, or something like that.
Because of the music?
As a tourist first. I came first one time as a tourist with my old best friend. We worked in a podcast too, and a radio channel. We were host there. we went there to have fun. At that time Budapest was starting to get famous in West Europe. Still not too many tourists was there back then, but we went, had a good time. I met some musicians while as a tourist there, and they said, come back, we're going to do some shows. And I came back the summer after. We did a few shows in Budapest. It was fun. We went to Balaton a few times. Then I really liked it. What I've seen from Budapest and Siófok, tourist places, there was something in it I liked, because the difference was I tried to talk to Hungarians. Whereas many tourists, they don't. They're just with tourists.
They don't care.
And I felt like, they're like proud people, a little bit reserved, but more open than Danish people. They like their culture and their language. And I was like, and now you're smiling. And I felt, that's what I don't have in my country. All
really?
These things. Yeah, we don't like our language. We're not that happy. It's different. We like it also. And when COVID came, my music career kind of stopped because COVID. And I then moved to Szeged, because there was a guy from Szeged who was a music manager, half Danish, half Hungarian.
Who is he?
His name is Niels. Well, he's full Danish, but he lived in Hungary for 25 years with a Hungarian wife. And he'd seen me in television and said, come down. Let's talk. Maybe we can make something here. And in 2021, I came down to Szeged. Very nice guy. And he said, okay, let's do a contract. I can book you. If I get concerts, you have to come and play, of course. And we signed it. And then all of a sudden he booked me and we played everywhere. Within 6 months, it was Campus Festival, it was Scene Festival, there's lots of places. So,
did you enjoy that part?
Very nice. It was nice after COVID. Everyone wanted to get out again. Because before COVID, I had a very tough schedule. I played during high school years. I was very young when I started. I was even 14 when I started all this. And during high school years, we played 3-4 shows a week. It's too much. And I remember waking up during the exam. Where am I? Because there were so many shows.
What did you finish?
I never did anything else than the high school. Gymnasium.
Gymnasium.
I
where
started.
Did you finish that?
In a small town, Gribskov. It's called. And I then went to. I got accepted to university to study Indian. But I decided not to do that because I was on tour those weeks, and it was actually during COVID, the same time, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? Maybe this disease will last for 5 years. You never know. Back then, we didn't know how long. And in Denmark, the restrictions were very extreme. So I was like, I cannot play concerts. I used to be a chef at that point because I didn't have other jobs. I was cooking every day. And I was like, okay, I have some time. Let's study something. It's like, I'm interested in India also. Because you couldn't study Hungarian in university. So I chose that. I didn't expect to get accepted into it. Because my resume was very bland. I didn't really try, but I got into it. And at the same time, I got booked for Hungary. And I had to make a choice. Should I try to go to Hungary, drop out of university, or what? Or do both? And
it was in 2020 or 2021?
2021. Around September or something. August, when it starts. And I remember I wrote to the university because I saw the plan of Copenhagen University. The first month was going to be, if I'm honest, it was going to be drinking, socializing. And I wrote them, I said, if there's nothing I need to study, I'm on tour, my plans were like this, I promise you I will come study, but I cannot be there those 3 first weeks. And I said, I don't think it's necessary to be there. But they said, if you want to be here, you have to be there all days. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. I wanted to study, I didn't want to drink. And so I chose to drop out after 1 day. But because they say all dropouts, university dropouts, they become millionaires, they say. So I don't know. And then I went to Hungary, played all these shows, and a few months later I decided, okay, I'm going to move. So in February 24th, 2022, the day the war in Ukraine started, I woke up my first time in Szeged.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And everyone was writing, oh my God, you're in the neighbor country. But yeah, that was the day. That was Szeged. And I loved Szeged. Damn. It's great. I had 2 years in Szeged. Great city.
I lived there 7 years.
It's a great city.
So I know.
Sun city.
Sun city.
Not Fényváros.
I would like to ask something in Hungarian.
Természetes.
És akkor próbálj meg válaszolni. És hogyha valami nem megy, akkor folytathatod angolul.
Hajde.
Hogy lehet az, hogy valaki Nyugat-Európából eljön, és így mégis ez a balkáni falvak tetszenek meg neki leginkább. Ez nagyon-nagyon furcsa, mert a social médián mit látsz? Szép, gyönyörű Párizs, Róma, London, New York, everything, és amit én először láttam tőled videót, az volt talán magyar kanizsa, vagy zenta, és én először úgy nagyon meglepődtem, hogy mi jön valaki ide? Mit csinál ez itt videót? Mondom, biztos így próbál trükközni, you understand? Why you are tricking with the algorithm that you are going to small towns and try to make good videos about them, and they will like it also because you saying a lot of positive things. Ja, oké, bocsánat, magyarul mondom tovább.
Igen, de...
És ez őszintén megmondom, először én meglepődtem, és aztán mikor láttam, hogy te ezt full őszintén csinálod. Tehát, hogy ebbe olyan komoly taktika, úgy őszintén nincs, neked ez tetszik, ami itt van. Jó gondolom?
Igen, de szerintem a titkos recept, ez egy ilyen szívemunka nekem. És én szerintem, én voltam sok helyek, voltam fél éve London, csináltam egy tévéműsor, amikor én voltam 11 éves volt, és voltam Brüsszel is, dolgoztam az Európai Uniós izé, és voltam sok helyek, Spanyolország, sok helyek, és én szerintem nagyon szép helyek, de itt Kelet-Európa és Centrál-Európa, Magyarország, van nagyon sok helyek is, és milyen a recept? A szívemunka, és nagyon szeretem csinálni a videót, és én vagyok ilyen história freak. Minden nap néztem história dokumentár.
Ezt a területekről, a falvakról?
Igen, és I'm reading lots of books also, and you know, if I can do it in English, I think the main thing of all of this comes down to, I come from a small island with 1,000 people. We have 3 shops maybe. Don't have much to do. And there you somehow have to discover every centimeter of the island because you don't have more. It's the water all around you. And remember this. It's important that you have this. And for me, I have these island eyes, szigeten, where I can somehow see every little special thing in every town. Whereas you ask 99 out of 100% people, they would say, it's just a town. But for me, it's not. I mean, there's so much. I mean, I can go to Sanat in Banat, and I can look there. Nothing happens. People say you just drive through it, but I would find something. And I think what I really love is this storytelling. I did it with music before. Tried to make songs where I told stories. And now I can do it with these videos. And for me, the biggest treasure is that all these places in the Videk have so many untold stories. And that's why I feel like it's an Oranbanya. Because no one else has done it. And I don't hope they will. I mean, they gotta be very dedicated to, like us, get up at 6 a.m, drive to 4 towns in a day and sit and edit it. It's not easy work. And sometimes I sit in the car after 3 towns we go to, and I'm like, do I want to go out now? You have to push yourself. So I think the main reason is, if you look in Serbia and Hungary, and maybe all the other countries, you have these influencers, content creators. They put out a video every 3rd, 4th day. And it maybe does well. A lot of them do very good. I think in Hungary, some very great influencers are there. Very talented people. But the difference is I put out 2 a day in high quality. And lots of people watch all of them. So that's the difference, that we just work. I saw this because I used to be independent. I had my own company since whenever. When I was like 17 or 18 in Denmark with music. And I knew that you got to have the retention. You got to constantly push yourself because no one is going to earn the money for you. And for me, I just saw this as a business. When I came home from working with some EU project, I came home and I was like, okay, I've got to pull myself up and say, you got to work 40 hours a week. And I do. And it pays off. I mean, we grew from a year ago, 1.5 years ago, I had 30,000 views a month. Now we have between 7 to 10 million in 1.5 years. So I would like to see anyone beat that record. Not to sit here, we're so good, but it's hard work.
Can you believe that?
Not yet. It's mostly that we go, especially in Hungary, but also now in Vajdaságba, that so many people come over. We go to goddamn Lidl or Tesco in Page at 4 in the night because they're 24-hour open. I go there in my jogging pants and someone wants a picture. It's like weird. So late in the night. And the crazy thing is with what we do, because Noemi is a big part of it, who's sitting right here. What we do is that we reach all kind of people. Most influencer content creators have below 30 years old, 40. I don't know. How old are you?
What do you think?
29.
Thank you. 36.
Yeah. So below 40 years old. But what we do, we look at the stats. 50% of all the viewers on all the platforms are above 60. Which means if a business wants to work with us, we can deliver lots of people from all ages, which is more valuable because in many countries, the people above 50, they have bigger money to go out to eat for than the teenagers have. So it's become a very, very big business we built up from nothing. Now we work with universities, restaurants, hotels, and now the problem is we have too many, ads because it's constantly. And I also want to do my original videos, the towns and stuff.
Can you say no?
I cannot say no really to concerts either. I mean, we say no. We are more critical now if it's a really bad place. Because we have integrity. It's also important this time. I see a lot of these content creators. I'm not going to sit and shit talk, but you see in Budapest, a lot of these content creators who make content about Budapest. There's many. They're like rats. You can, it's too many in Budapest. You can feed cats with all these. So many. And the problem is they just say yes to everything. So we sometimes are invited to Budapest to make content. We charge a big amount of money. But when we then go, nothing works of the restaurant. Like, they don't know you're coming because there are like 15 people working there. No one knows. And a lot of the times it's like we try to find the places in Budapest that are really good, that has real good food. Because if we make videos about a place that doesn't have good food,
maybe only
our fans will go. Our fans will go and they will try it and be like, okay, so he's just saying it's good when it's bad. And maybe in the last 2 years we've done that once. But nothing more. Whereas I see these influencers in Budapest, they go to everything that pays a little bit and make videos about it. And they make it for mostly the tourists who go to Budapest. And no one is believing it. I mean, you gotta have something integrity in this business because our opinion is what people pay for as a content creator. And if we just give it out for cheap to something that's not good, you can sell yourself for cheap, I think.
How can you balance your ego?
I would say because of Noemi a lot of these ways, because she can keep me down. But, it's just, I came from a family where we lived on the island. Sometimes, as I heard, we didn't have much money. It's really true. I never felt like this because my parents were very good at not showing it, but we didn't have a lot of money. My dad had to travel abroad to work for a long time, like a lot of Eastern Europeans' parents do. And sometimes we had to find small coins to have bread. So it was not that good. And because I come from that, where you learn the value of everything, then it's not that easy to become a big ego person. Also, I had to work since I was very young, 13 years old. And by that, you know the value of life and money a lot. So I think that way, the only thing that can trigger me nowadays is when I see people, it's a jealousy in me. Jealousy exists very big time in me because I see sometimes someone, I'm honest with you, dead honest. Okay. That's how you get furthest in life, I think. But sometimes I see on this, because we started a new tactic where I'm not going to look at social media, I'm just going to post. Because I don't think a lot of social media is so good for me. So sometimes I look and I see some of my colleagues, if you can call it that, who makes videos too. They make a video where they just put a text that says some basic stuff, and then they just sit, no talk, nothing, just a 6-second video, and it gets 1 million views. And I'm like, there's nothing in it.
I call them watching people. They are watching other people's content,
But not even, that's reaction. But this is just, they write me when I came to Hungary, and that starts over again. And I'm just like, that gets so much where when we do a production, sometimes we fail because we go to a town, spend a lot of money and hours to make a production about video, and maybe it doesn't go viral. Mostly they do, but sometimes they don't. And I'm always, we constantly criticizing what did wrong with this, and how can the others do this very easy, low content thing and get views. But okay, it's a totally different thing we do. So that sometimes I can be like a little bit jealous, or like there was this content creator awards in Budapest recently. I think it was MasterCard who made it, where 400 people were invited. I mean, we have some of the highest stats in Hungary. We were never invited, never got a call. So sometimes like this, it's hard to be in. When I was in Denmark, I was a chairperson at the music union. We did a lot. I was the youngest doing that ever. And there, it's very important that let's say you work with Ostalos. Mm-hmm. You need to have a union to talk with other Ostalos about pricing and stuff. But in this business, no one talks to each other. We tried to make some meetings, but the moment we make a meeting, someone will see, oh, you have that opportunity, let me take it off you. Uh-huh. And, that just makes it a little bit tough. We don't have a community with content creation. And so what we started to build 1.5 years ago was more Fügetlen. We make everything in-house. The music we make is in-house for the videos. We control 100% everything. We say no to stuff. We say yes to a lot. We even approach people if we find a good idea. Because now we're working with almost every tourist organization in Hungary for this year. From the 11th of April, we will not have time to do anything until late September. There will be so much work. We will go to Niš. We will go to Center.
Niš.
And so we have lots of tourist organizations we have a big collaboration with. And all this came because I used to be a marketing specialist. I sat and did a call out, cold calling. I used to work for some companies back in Denmark. And I thought, okay, maybe we can sell our product. And I'm going to do the same. So we just started calling and stuff. And it all worked out. So, it's a lot of work. And it's almost too much work. When I was waking up in the morning, we had to meet here early today. I was like, oh, how do I get up? Because yesterday we got home at 10 in the evening, and I had to sit and work till 11, 12. So, it's a lot. But at the same time, because I get up in the morning, it's 7, and we drive 1.5 hours to Odder, then that's why we progress more than other people. And I'm so thankful. I mean, without these fans, without these lovely people, Nenis and Bachis and... and also all these amazing young people who follow us, who come when we announce we go to a village, 40, 50 people are there when we arrive. Because of them, we can make a living and we can tell all the stories. So, of course, we give a lot back. We want to help as much locally as possible. I have my heart in it. We try to help with charity projects in Baranya, in Page.
That's good.
Because, without people, we will not be anything. And that's the mindset that drives me, that because of you, call me. I mean, without you, I wouldn't get any fans here in Odder. And from
you'll get, I know, that a lot of people
but at the same time, we got to respect each other. And in social media, no one respects anyone.
That's correct. Okay.
And my biggest struggle with doing this is that I'm too honest. Because I go to this television show, I do this, and they're like, oh, maybe tone down this, you say, but the thing is, I'm honest. I'm not this influencer saying, oh, look at my Gucci bag, it's so amazing, it was made with child labor. They don't say that, but I'm trying to be as honest as possible, and that's why I moved to Serbia, to Vajdaságba, because here people are very honest. Even the Hungarians here are raw, they say what they want, and they have a good time. Whereas a lot of places, people are trying to polish everything, make it look better than it is. But I came here, you saw my videos, go to Center or Kanisa. Not everything in Kanisa is beautiful, but you got to find it. And you got to show the raw sides, the honest sides. That's what people like. But in social media nowadays, no one is honest.
I really like that honest part of your content, because I think that your videos will be watchable after 10 years.
I think so too.
Mostly, if you are doing something on the internet, it will be good for 10 days or 12 or 2 weeks. And later nobody cares. But I just go back on your feeds and checking that what did you do, what did you do in 2025 at summer, and watch the cities and everything. It's watchable. Currently, it's watchable. So it's like a timeless library about that little towns and everything. And I want to reflect that untold stories. That if you are,
but that's what you do too here. So
because we have Yugoslavian war. I was 1 year old when the war started, and I was 9 when it finished. It ended. So I remember that in 1999, March 25, around, the teacher came in and said, we have to go home. And after the sirena, it started to...
They bombed it?
No, they bombed Novi Sad and Belgrade and that part. And I just remember that when we went outside, 9 or 10 p.m., we saw the NATO planes going down, everything. And it was 2 or 3 days, weeks after when Hungary connected to NATO. And it was a strange feeling. It was a strange feeling after everything, because here there are a lot of nations here from
it's
the last
multicultural
region. Stuff. Yes. So,
but actually, what you're saying there is something I was very fascinated to go into. I haven't done it yet. This feeling, how the Hungarians felt during that time.
Which Hungarians?
Vajdasággi magyarok. When Hungary joins the NATO, but it's bombing where Hungarians kind of live, that must have destroyed a lot of feelings inside Hungarians here. But that's something I have it in my notes, this exactly thing, to go into at some point. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not cheap town?
Unfortunately not, because there is a lot of companies. That's
why the economy is good.
The economy is not
bad.
Not bad, because what's the PIB numbers? Which, if you are open a company, you have the
tax
kind of special PIB or matični broj. PIB.
I have a PIB also here.
Really? Yeah. And the first PIBs 35 years ago is from Ada. So if you are
always a company city.
Yes, if you are going through the streets, you should check that there are streets on every second house. You can find cégtábla, entrepreneurs, yeah.
Sok
vállalkozás, kötödék voltak Adán, nagyon sok. You know that? Pulcsi, everything. Volt olyan, hogy minden utcában volt 1 vagy 2 kötöde. Itt ebben 5 házzal arrébb is volt.
Tényleg?
Rengeteg. És most maradt belőle egy néhány darab, de volt legalább 50, meg 100 kötöde Adán. 20 évvel ezelőtt. It's really hard to find a rent for a good money in Ada. If you can buy a house for 20,000 euro, but you have to spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, but the problem was I bought a house in Page 2 years ago now. 1.5, 2 years. It was not a nice situation. There was many things I was almost planning to leave Hungary, because the whole situation, I bought a house in the outskirts of Page, and it was through Ingatlan Iroda, big famous one, I'm not going to say names. And I even went to Page to look at many houses, and he said, we got this house coming up here, it's not put for sale yet. We went to look at it, it looks nice. It was a good price back then. There was some things that had to be made, mostly just decorative stuff. I said, okay, we're going to come back. We came back one time, looked at it. It was nice. I said, okay, I'm going to buy it. I bid a few things down. I got it for cheaper. And it was a little bit weird, because the Ingatlanos few, he didn't really know how it worked to buy a sádkert, which is like in Nyárló. It's a different rules in Hungary. And what happened was, the whole process of buying it turned out to be 6 months long before I got it. And he didn't know. The lawyer I got in Hungary had never did this either, so he didn't know either. And the lawyer wanted, midway through the 6 months, to say, oh, I need more money now. And I said, you cannot. We agreed on the contract and everything. And there was a lot of progresses that was just very unprofessional. When I then get to the house to get the key after 6 months, I see a little bit moldy thing up with the roof. And I asked, what's that? And he said, oh, it's just no one has been here, so the air has not been left out. And I said, yeah, are you sure about that? And he said, yeah. I had to pay for the old owner to come up with the key from Croatia because he went on vacation just the day I had to get the key. And he said, well, you have to pay me to come. And if he couldn't give the key within 7 days, the transaction would be cancelled and I would not have the house. And I was already out of my apartment. And then he asked for 200,000 forints for me to say, come up. Well, it's his duty and law, he has to come. But this was the way. And the Ingatlanders one was on his side. Then he comes up. The Ingatland guy, he quit his job. And I called it was doing a house. And I called them and I said, what then? We need a witness and stuff. We cannot send you right now. You have to wait. So I had to bring people down to help me, external. And then within 2 weeks after I get the house, the whole roof starts leaking. And I look at the pictures I took the first...
It was painted.
The problem was, meanwhile, through the 6 months, we came just to look at it again. He had painted over many times.
All the time.
All the time. He constantly did it. And I talked to my lawyer, and he said, yeah, we can sue him. The problem was he left the country, the guy who sold the house. So, just this was annoying. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to save my money, renovate it. I think 26 different tattoo came out, all of them trying to rip me off. And I was ripping me off with tons of extra money until 1.5 years later, I meet a guy who's a tattoo for 26 years. He's been doing it. He said, what are they doing? And all of them had a new idea, and some of the construction they draw and said, we can do this. There were still holes in it. So, it was just like, what are people doing? And with Noemi, she also tried. She's Hungarian, so it was easier maybe. But no. So I had this very unpleasant experience. I put a lot of money in the house, but it was not pleasant. When I went to look at the house, the Ingatland person gave me a paper that stated in 2025 they were going to make Ivovis and Csatorna. Because in Pécs, a lot of places don't have Ivovis and Csatorna. It's the fifth biggest city in Hungary, but they don't have. And I saw this, and it stated how much we have to pay for it. And I was like, okay, it's going through. It's going to happen. I put money aside. Within 6 months of living there, I talked with the neighbors. They said, well, we voted no. We don't need it. And my whole vision of buying this house, renovating it, making it livable, just went out. Wow. Because the neighbors had this mindset, well, we don't need it. We could just...
They had well, or what?
No, visalitage. So assistent, which is not good because now in Pécs, they have to save money so they cannot deliver water so much anymore. And I went to the neighbors and said, we have to do this. No, we don't need it. It's not important for us. And in that house, you have to go out with a thing and empty the Csatorna. And I did that every month. It's not a funny job. It's a shit job.
What's the name of that? The szivattyú.
Yeah, I have to do that myself. And the neighbors were like, it's okay. It's fine for us. But so it was, I met this very vidéki, like, don't care about anything at all. And I told them, if we do this, the house price will go up the double. So it was a little bit tough, and I love Pécs with my whole heart. And now we have a little place there. We go every time we work and when we film, because I have to be there. I love it. Work with the university. I work with a lot of stuff there. But it was hard to have a house there. And my big plan for like the future is to have a house there, a nice house or apartment at least, and then have a very nice house here in Vajdaságba. Because here I really like to be. Pécs and Baranya, I think, is the most beautiful region in all of Hungary, the most history. So those two places I really like to be. But all of Hungary and Serbia is amazing for me, with my view.
There is a legend that if you are traveling to the next village near to here...
Török.
No, Padé. Padé, you know, that it's...
Yes, next.
There is a bridge in the other part. There you can buy houses for 1,000 euro.
Really?
Sometimes it happens that few years ago that 1 or 2,000 or 5,000 euro you can buy a whole house, a whole good house.
But shitty. Not good?
I can say
But
that.
why is it cheap?
Because there is nothing in the village. Only 2 shops, and you should. It's
more than my island.
Yes, maybe. But there is a legend that sometimes it happened that 300 euros somebody is selling the house because they are moving to other countries, so they don't care about that. It's 1,000 or 3,000 or no. So, but in Ada it's really hard. So if you want to build a new house in Ada, it's at least 200,000 euro.
Nice.
Or 100,000.
But that's more than in Denmark.
What?
That's more than in Denmark. That's crazy. Don't you think so?
But how? If you want to build a house, it's
yeah, but I mean, it also depends on that you have a lot of sock embed here who likes to make more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what I was surprised in Hungary right now, the house market for
Currently?
already built. I kid you not, page is the Vidik.
Mm-hmm.
In Denmark, in the Vidik, I can buy a 2 times bigger house, renovated for the same price as my house. I kid you not, just look at the marketplaces in Denmark.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Because in Hungary, it's so artificially expensive now. There's a reason why no one...
The keyword is artificially.
It is, because it's not true. I mean, if you calculate, it's expensive in Budapest also before, because you earn more. But in a small town like Kübekhase, you don't earn anything. And the house is 3 times the price of in Denmark, where we earn 3 times as much, even in a small town. So, I was a little bit shocked that a lot of Hungarians just accept it like it is and say, yeah, it's because the economy is going good, but it's not. It's because of all these governmental things giving out now to boost the prices. But, it doesn't boost the salary. And I was a little bit, considering now, what do I do now? What do I buy? What do I do? But I'm not really sure because, I'm from Denmark. I know what things are supposed to cost in my country. And I cannot believe it's getting the same price in Hungary and almost Serbia now, but not yet, but in Hungary especially. I mean, you go in Page, if you want a flat, an apartment downtown, it's at least 170 million or something. In Denmark, I can get that almost in close to Copenhagen. Why is Page that expensive? It's my question. So there's these things that is to me is a little bit interesting with buying and selling houses in Hungary. I'm 25 now. I've already bought and sold a house in Hungary. But it's a lot of work also. But I think I saw a documentary about it saying Hungarian, Serbian, Croatian economy especially, they are reliant on people inheriting from their parents. And that means for a lot of people, that's the motivation to sell for expensive or, not really have a realistic apartment market because people are inheriting. Whereas I didn't. Couldn't. I'm not inheriting many things. And so, when I meet Hungarian young people my age, a lot of them are getting houses from their parents. Whereas for me, I look at the house prices and I feel with those people who have to be young now, have to somehow find a way to earn enough to buy a house, which with this current salary is not possible. Then you have to make Hitel. But Hitel is not good. Hitel is you're not free. So that dream that Hungary used to be, if you look, Hungary has one of the highest house ownership rates in the EU. That dream
used to be or now?
Used to be. They still kind of have, but I don't think it will be in 10 years, 15 years, because nobody will be able to buy a house. But it used to be, and that was very healthy for a country that everyone can own their own house. But I'm just asking, how do you do that now? So, yeah, I don't know. It's very fascinating what's happened the last 5 years I lived there.
Do you feel the difference between the borders when you go to Hungary, when you come back? Or did you notice the border?
From Serbia or Hungary? In terms of the physical border?
Yes, I mean the physical border and the mental border.
Physically, of course, because in Röske you have the big Nordfall. Not like big in China, but almost. Yeah, mentally I do. Because the moment I go here to meet the Vajdasággi magyarok, I see big smiles. Trust me, I've been many places in the vidék in Hungary. I don't see these many smiles. So that's one thing. I think the attitude of Vajdasággi magyarok is nagyon más, mint a magyarok Magyarországon. Nagyon más. Az emberek itt lehet még boldog. A Vajdasággi magyarok szereti élni. Szerintem. And you know, for me, I really like Hungary. That's why I stayed in South Hungary, because I only had 1 year in Budapest, but then I moved to Pécs. I like this little mix of Balkan vibe. And now in the comments they will say, "Ooh, there's no Balkan here," and the Serbs are Balkanifying Hungary. I don't know. I mean, think about it. A Balkan feeling is not a bad thing. I don't think it is. Why would a lot of people saying Balkan is a bad feeling?
Bad word.
Yeah, but I mean, here people like to go out. People yell at each other, say, "Hey, we haven't met in ages." Whereas in Denmark, if you knew someone for 20 years, you meet them on the streets like, "Hi," not even. And that is the sad truth. Whereas I really enjoy this openness, and I know the Vajdasággi magyarok love it too. Especially when you go up to Hungary and Budapest, you feel like they're cold, no? Most Vajdasággi people I met, they say that when they go into Hungary, Kecskemét, or places like that, they're cold compared to the Vajdasággi.
They don't care about it, mostly. Why are you laughing?
No, but a lot of young people I meet who grew up here in Szent or Szabadka, they say when they have to study or something in Hungary, it's so different mentality. That feeling that you see someone and you go to shake their hands and you have a smile and stuff, it doesn't really exist much in Hungary. And I like that here. And I like that it's still Hungarian. And I can speak Hungarian here. And the culture is here. But it's a mix. I love it here so much. I really love Vajdasággi.
It's really hard to be Hungarian in a country which is not Hungary. And you can, hogy mondják, megőrizni a kultúrát. Megőrizni. To keep
the culture.
To keep the culture.
But how do something that's interesting for me living here for some time, Hungarians in Vajdaság preserve their culture much more than they do in Hungary. And that is facts. And that's the same in Erdély. They preserve the Hungarian culture much more than in Hungary. I mean, here, you go to the Falunap's in Vajdaság, it's still Hungarian music. You go to Falunap's in Hungary, it's Americanized rap. So you are much more, I'm not sitting here to tell you, but from my view of traveling all around, the Vajdasággi people are much, much more Hungarian. I think. Maybe not Hungarian, if let's say Hungarian. What is Hungarian even? Őszi magyar, vagy árpád fiúk. But what I'm seeing is just to the language also and the traditions, much stronger here than many places in Hungary. But okay, Pécs, Szeged is different, but if you go more up, Tata, it's more international. Veszprém, all those places, beautiful places, but it's just a different mentality. And the music up there is much different. I mean, here you have, if you look at the acts who come down to here in Erdély to play concerts from Hungary, it's more like not old school, but the people who have Hungarian stuff in it. Whereas you don't see many of these modern, Americanized Hungarian artists, they don't come here much.
Én ezt még egyébként nem vettem észre, de az föltűnt, hogy most abból, amit mondtál, hogy mi történne velünk itt Vajdaságban, meg akár Erdélyben, ha nem lenne a kultúra. Akkor asszimilálódnánk.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, one thing I have a deep fascination for here is the Magyar Hungarians here in Vajdaság. I also have the same in Romania. Because, you know, if we just now, it's been over 100 years since Trianon happened. And I think, you know, I have this discussion with Noemi, who's from Hajdukó. We have it a lot. Because I'm just a stupid foreigner. I know, én hülye vagyok. And what I see is that the Hungarians here and in Erdély and in Felvidék are much, much happier people. Because when you grow up, you already from child, you see two cultures. If you grow up in Tisza-Kecske, in the Alföld, you only see Hungarian culture. And as someone who's into culture, your life is much more rich because you grew up with the perspective and the standpoint. And that's what I think is a big gift for people from these regions. Because you don't grow up with that in Hungary. And maybe you grow up with an even stronger connection to Hungary than the people do in Hungary. That's what I could believe. And what I feel. And what I hear. So I know it's not easy, but think about it. You have, even though you are Hungarian, you still have some, you are affected by the place you grew up in.
Of course.
Both in good and bad sides. But I think in terms of socially, you have earned much more from being here.
Most ezt mondom magyarul, hogy...
Because when I, just to tell the viewer, when I came here, you came with a smile. When I do exactly the same stuff in Hungary, it's like, there you are, okay. Mm-hmm.
Small things.
Yeah.
Mikor én először Magyarországra mentem, vagyis hát tudod, hogy hányszor fordult velem az elő? Oké, mert ott láttam a pólódon rajta volt, hogy you go.
Yeah.
De hányszor mondták nekem azt, hogy nekem nagyon sokszor mondták azt, hogy nem magyar vagyok. Nekem a magyarországi magyarok azt mondták, hogy jugó vagy szerb.
Igen.
És akkor én fölbaszom magam rajta. Mondom, nem is beszélek rendesen szerbül, és nekem azt mondják, hogy hát de te szerb vagy. De nem úgy értettem, mondom. De figyelj, én nem vagyok szerb. És itt most nem az állampolgárságról van szó, meg a szavazásról.
Nem.
Én amikor megkérdezik, hogy én milyen ember vagyok.
De milyen érzés is van?
Magyar.
Teljes.
Pont. Teljesen tiszta magyarnak érzem magam. Tehát egy no question.
Aha.
Én magyar vagyok. És tudod, meg volt már, hogy mentem Budapestre 15 years ago, before social media. Somebody asked me, where is Vajdaság? Okay, maybe it's not a problem that she didn't know that where is Vajdaság. But she asked me that, how do you know really well Hungarian?
Yeah. Noemi said the same, but it's funny because even today, where social media exists, if I tell anyone in Hungary that there's all these Hungarians here in Serbia, they have no idea. Even Noemi was asked when she came to Szeged to study, how do you speak so good Hungarian? And for me, it's just very, very, very stupid that in Hungary, the government and everyone is trying to not show the Hungarians around. And that is my duty. And that is one of my big terv. It's not terv, hogy bemutatni a külföldi magyarok. But
I would like to make a podcast where somebody is the host. It's my secret plan that somebody is the host, and from every part from the határvidék, like from Romania, from Slovakia, everybody from Ukraine, magyarok jöjjenek össze és beszélgessenek.
Yeah, just them. Yeah.
It's a good content, I think.
I think it would be too, but my plan is also, now I'm focusing on Vajdaság. My next is going to be Erdély. I did a little bit in Felvidék, but I want to. Let me say it this way. I meet many Vajdasági people, older generations, not yours, but 60, 70. And when we talk, have some conversation, they say, you're Hungarian, I ask. Yeah, they're Hungarian. Speak in Hungarian, of course. Well, what do you really feel like? And a lot of them say something between Hungarian and Yugoslav. And then I talked with them about it, and they said, yeah, but for Hungarians, Yugoslavian times were maybe a bit better, because Yugoslav, the peak of it was that you were mixed. It's not one thing. And for a lot of Hungarians, they say if they think about it now, they wouldn't consider themselves Hungarians like in Hungary. And a lot of them are Vajdasági or Yugoslav. And that's also what I'm experiencing, because from my point of view, if you say I'm Danish, I don't feel Danish. I come from an island in a region where we cannot talk with the people from Copenhagen. So am I Danish? And then we start to ask, what is in Denmark? What is to be Danish? Is it to like Pörköl, like in Hungary, we have our own stuff? No, because when I went to high school, 15 people out of the 30 had never tried our national dish. That was our national dish for 200 years. So what is Danish? What is Hungarian?
It's a philosophical question.
It is. And I think about it a lot. I work with this a lot. Because you cannot really say what is what. Especially coming from Denmark with all these islands and dialects. We have extreme dialects in Denmark. But I can say that I think the future of how we talk about the world and Europe is not countries, but regions. That I think, and it's just me calling this already now, that in 25 years it's going to be regional wars. If there's a war, it's a regional war and not a country war. or there's a regional identity and not a country identity. Because I tell you, if you go to East Hungary and you talk with someone from West Hungary, Southwest, they would have totally different cultures.
Especially Debrecen, Nyíregyháza.
Their people, their traditions are so different. And that's why I'm saying Hungarian is a language. You speak Hungarian, it's a language. But is it really a feeling? Because a lot of my fans say, oh, Frederik, you are like a Hungarian because how I feel. And yeah, I might be. But I'm not Hungarian, I'm Danish. But, it's very difficult to say. And that's why I meet a lot, and that's why it's my big mission to make hundreds, maybe thousands of videos from every region, Felvidik, Erdély, Vajdaságba, even this little minority in Slovenia that exists, nobody knows about. Because I want to feel, what do they feel? I want to know what is that their connection to Hungary, how do they feel Hungarian? And then I want to take it up to a Hungarian in Kecskemét, and they will notice that mindset-wise, they couldn't be more different. But they both claim they are Hungarian. But what is that then? Because ethnically, the people here in this whole region are so mixed. I mean, I know many people from Baranya. You wouldn't believe how many Schwab people there is, Germans.
Also here.
But even more there. I think it's the capital of the Schwabs. Page is Fünfkirchen originally. Pechu, which actually comes from Slavic, means 5 because it was 5 churches. But the Hungarians like to make it Page instead of Pech. Funny. But I think, what's interesting in Hungary is that it's, you have so many minorities, historically. And yet you want to force people that this is the real Hungarian. But what is it? Because you cannot compare one from...
We always mixed before.
You always mixed. And Hungarians, that's why I'm always asking, are you Ős-Magyar, or are you Árpád-fiú, or you're part of the 12 tribes, or what it's called? Because how do you know, like, genetically? Because from my island, I can say we are 1,000 people. For 600 years, we never touched civilization. So I can say we are very ethnically the same. Maybe inbred too.
Inbred.
Some what we did on my island, if there was a sailor we could see with the light tower, we would then trick the light tower so they would
going through.
The boat would sink.
Really?
And then they would come into the island, and it's so far away from civilization that they would stay there and they would give their genes.
Really?
Yeah. And there's even an area east of the island where you can now go and dig and you can find old shipwrecks. So
that's a good story.
So I'm just saying that this genetically, that's one thing, but the feeling is different. But again, if you say this is a Hungarian feeling, but I tell you, East and West Hungarians cannot agree. And that's why I'd like to just challenge it. That's what I always do. And that's why I also get a lot of hate sometimes on my videos, because I like to challenge it. To challenge what it is people feel.
Nekünk valaki elköllött, hogy jöjjön Dániából, hogy van a magyarság Magyarországon, meg körülötte ott vannak még az országok, és te vagy az, aki eljössz ide, és azt mondod nekünk, hogy te figyelj már, mennyi azonosság van köztetek, hogy milyen jó helyen éltek, és ezt neked kell eljönni, te hozod ezt a külső perspektívát, és te eljössz egy olyan vidékre, mint például ez a vidék, itt ez a Bánát, Bácska, ez a rész, rohadt nagy elvándorlás van. Half of the people from the last 15 years went away hogy dolgozzanak Németországba, meg bárhol, ahol itt a Bécs.
I know, it's the sad truth of the brain drain, it's called in political terms. I think,
Brain drain?
Yeah.
Ja, agyleszívás, értem.
When, my question is still just, what is better in Germany? Salary is better, but tax is better, higher too. And expenses of cost of living. I mean, maybe now it's tough, because now in Croatia, a bread is more expensive than in Germany. And in Hungary too. But before, 20 years ago, when people left, what was it so much better? I mean, yeah, I could go to Denmark now, earn the double as here. But I also have to pay half of the tax, Plus, I have to, coffee in cappuccino in Copenhagen is 4,000 forint. So, I mean, just that idea. It's like, instead of, let's say your heart is here in Banat or Bácska, and you say, okay, let's build it up. But this local patriotism is not really existing anymore. Where you say, because if you read the history of Kanhisha, the history goes back to, at some point when it was a little bit dead, the city, 16 families went there to make business, and it made it a thriving city. Now it died again a little bit. Probably those 16 families, they didn't have much children and stuff. But this idea that you come and bring something to something and build it up, that's what I want to inspire people to do. Because if you go back 20 years ago to Denmark, or when I was born, Denmark was not like super rich as it is now. It's like in the middle. Half of Denmark didn't have cisterner chatorna either. People forget this. Hungarians, Serbs forget this. But it for me, it's just a sad truth that people want the easy route in life. It's so sad. Because why is life important if you don't fight for it? We have a very beautiful song that you hear when someone dies sometimes. And it says, kæmp for alt hvad du har kært, fight for everything that is dear to you, even if it will cost your life. And that is like a lot of my generation and people in Denmark we have. And I wish that Hungarians would do that too, instead of just saying, the moment there's something wrong, visa. Mm-hmm. Because that is, to me, so cowardly. Like, there's not many jobs in this town. Okay, I'm just going to move to Germany. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to go to the nearest big city, get a job, get some ideas, build a company there, and bring workplaces there. People don't want to do that. They want to say, oh, we can get a job that pays, and it's very unskilled labor in Germany or Belgium and stuff, and we do it the moment we can. And for me, that's just, you fight. I mean, I work 80 hours a week, maybe more. I didn't come here to have an easy life. I came here because of my heart, apparently. And if someone is Byske, it's Hungarians, and they should have this heart. But a lot of them, they think it's easy just to give up. And that to me is a bit sad.
I think that you have to work 2 times more because of the language barriers, maybe.
Yeah.
And you can still... And it's strange for me that somebody want to live here and coming from the western part of the Europe.
But that, again, to challenge you, that's because you think... What do you think about the West?
I have no borders or skatuják in my face that something is west, something is eastern.
No,
I'm not that kind of person, so I have no. I don't idealize Western countries.
No.
So,
but maybe it's because we don't give up, and that's why. Because if you give up that easy about everything, it's not good. I mean, my doctor in Peach, my Hasi Orvos, she says it's tough here, but we fight to keep it running. Mm-hmm. But that's the mindset I like.
But it's not that tough, like to live like in Sanad, maybe.
No, but at the same time, it's just, why do we constantly compare? And why do we... Because, okay, you can go have more money, but then you have less culture. Because I came here a lot for the culture, that there was an identity at least, which in my country, the identity died. We just had an election in Denmark, crazy election. They're not going to form government because it's so split. Mm-hmm. And in that election, it was, political parties who won big time, who went out to say, we will not have a Danish identity anymore. They went out, that was the goal, to say Danish culture, all these things. What is it even? Danish culture might be kebab now and hummus. That's Danish culture now. And for me, I came here because I was like, if you have 1,000-year-old traditions and culture, you can develop as a country, but you gotta have this. It's what kept you through wars. It kept you through everything. And that's why I came here, because, it's people who know who they are. But at the same time, what I'm sad is that people just choose the easy route out and just leave. Because is it that much easier? Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine. I lived in Denmark. I worked in so many jobs, you won't believe it. I cannot believe it's easier there than here. I would say I'm lucky because I had a security from coming from Denmark. But now in my life, no. I mean, I've lived here. I've had Hungarian pay for 5 years. People write in the comments, oh, Frederik Cornelius, you have Danish money. That's why you're having a good time. No, I'm making all my stuff here. If I can do it, anyone else can do it. I'm just stupid. I don't even have a degree.
If you should give an advice, somebody who's listening that podcast, that kind of business ideas, that what we can learn from you, what you bring from Danish, and what you experienced here, what we didn't notice, that there are a lot of holes, what we need to do. Maybe give somebody an idea or a perspective.
How to navigate in this.
Yes, how to navigate. Because you, hogy mondják, hogy feltaláltad magadat. Hogy mondják ezt angolul?
Yeah, I think, one thing is important that comes from my Danish mindset, that we come from a time where we would say, let's say I make a company. A lot of Hungarians I know in Budapest and Szeged and Debrecen, they are trying to make something. But at the same time, while they're building up the company, they also prioritize having the good brand of Schonka and spend more. I lived like a bum for 3 years to build this up. I tried to live as cheap as possible because you never know. You got to have a security. Security is one thing. If you want to believe in something, you got to have a security. You will not have the security if you don't prioritize how you live. So a lot of people, they're like, oh, we have money now, we can spend on the more expensive bread. Probably they should, but maybe not while they're building up a business because it can cost so much. So having a financial security, building it up for yourself is not difficult. I have lots of people here in Hungary who, and I hear what they earn, especially in, the big cities, and it's okay. But their priorities and what they spend. If I look at the budget, even me with the Danish salary wouldn't spend that. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, that you got to have your priorities and budget everything. Another thing is to just get yourself up every morning at 7. Push. Even if it's bad weather. If you choose to go out to have beer with the friends, know that you have to be up at 7. Even if you don't feel like you have a plan to work something, you just have to get up, sit in front of the office at home, sit there, look at the mails, go through everything 3 times. Force yourself. Because it's not easy. No one is going to come and say, you have to do this. You have to do it yourself. So that dedication is so important to have if you want to be a self-entrepreneur, You got to have it. Because your mom is not there to say it. Your boss is not there to say it. You have to say it to yourself. There was a story about the Beatles. You know the Beatles?
Yes.
That the first 3 years, they had the manager, Brian Epstein. And the first 3 years, he didn't pay them. Because then they would struggle to earn money and they would be more creative. I always have this saying myself when I played with musicians. You sit on the chair, you sit comfortably. If you are too comfortable and you lean backwards, if you lean backwards and are too comfortable too long, you will fall down. Mm-hmm. And that's the same financially. A lot of people say, oh, we want to make so much money, we want to have 5 cars. But the moment they get to that point, they're not going to have the passion to work. A lot of people don't. Whereas for me, I constantly try, the moment we have a good month of income, I put all that money in new investment for the jobs. So I try not to have a lot to spend myself. I try to just have enough, but enough to trigger me to say, I have to get up at 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. You know that mentality when somebody is going into Germany for work. Mm-hmm. After 3 or 6 months, they can buy a new car.
Yeah.
Yes, for as bit hitelből.
Yeah.
And they are... Tudod, hogy előre elköltik azt a rengeteg pénzüket, azt hajtanak Audit, meg jönnek haza nagy Audikkal, meg minden.
It's a bit weird mentality. That is not going to develop.
Status quo, you know?
Yeah, but that you don't care about at all. I drive in the smallest car, in the cheapest car you can get. Even though in 2 years we drove 70,000 kilometers for filming, but I have the smallest car. Because I'm like, I could buy anything I would like, but why? It's a car. It's not going to do my laundry or anything for me. It's a car. And who do I need to prove? I mean, I only need to prove myself. That's also a thing. If you want to do business, only prove yourself, not anyone else. Because everyone will hate on you. Even if you get big, all the other people will hate. So, it's really just to be careless, focused, have your numbers, your budget in order. That is the way you get success.
You told me you can handle the hate. You are not reading maybe so much comments, but maybe just thinking that in the future, maybe you are now currently at your peak and the next years will be the best part of their life. I mean, in the business, because now currently you are in that mood. Maybe can I say that? That how will you handle that kind of fame, that, and how can you balance yourself
I don't.
Did you get my
Yeah, I get it. The thing is, because I'm not going for a specific goal. I'm a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
like
a dream.
musician.
I have a dream. I don't have a goal. And I say that to a lot of people. I ask, are you goal-oriented or dream-oriented? And I'm a dream-oriented, because if my dream doesn't happen, it's just a dream. If I have a goal and it doesn't happen, then you get anxiety. And I don't have that, because I dream.
You sleep well?
Very well. I sleep like a rock, because I work until I go to bed, you know? For me, the journey is more important. If I can have fun all the way through, not only fun, but if I can have a good time all the way through going to my dream, then I will not regret it, even if it crashes at some point. But if I'm like struggling, having a bad life just to reach my goal, and then after the goal is reached and there will be bad times or anything and the peak will go down, then I'll be like, oh, it was so hard and so sad and I sacrificed everything and it didn't turn out. But I'm not like that. I'm having a super time the whole way through. I'm smiling almost every day. But that's, I have a friend, his name is Laszlo, he's from Page. And he says, happiness is a choice. And I say that to people, they say, why are you so happy? I say, I choose to be. I can be sad about a million things. And yes, I receive a lot of hate. But I choose not to be in it. It's so easy, actually. But okay, because I did television when I was 11. I lived in London. We did Cartoon Network and a lot of stuff. So because I've done interviews since I was 14, and now I'm 25, it's something I've gotten used to. Very slow. Whereas I see some of my friends who get instant fame within 1 or 2 years, they don't know how to do it. And they start doing drugs. They start a lot of stuff. But I've done it for so long. I feel so old inside. And that's why it's, not a big deal.
But do you even meditate, read books, or relaxing somehow, running, sports, something?
Yeah.
Do you have time?
I have. My biggest hobby right now, when I have time, is sitting at a cafe with a coffee and a cigarette, looking at the street, talking.
It's a Balkan thing, so...
Yeah, and that's why I came here.
Because,
Yeah. But I do, I have hobbies, but I have less time now. I mean, I used to have more time to play football. Don't have time much now. Mm-hmm. Also because if I get injured and I can't do my concerts in Denmark, I do music therapy sometimes. Mm-hmm. I cannot do that. So I have to be more careful. I live without the cigarettes. I live a very healthy life. As you can see, I eat so much food. It doesn't really come on me, but I do like to have ginger shots every day. I do like to have a good balance. We just been 1 month in Morocco. Had food poisoning 5 times.
Morocco.
Mm-hmm. So bad. And I was so sad for those days because you cannot do anything when you get so sick with food poisoning, Mm-hmm. But I don't meditate. My meditation is just, my songs. When I write songs, I think, and sitting just and looking at the world in front of me. I try not to sit too much with a screen because when I do, it's for work. And I think it's not feeding my brain very well. Mm-hmm. But then family. Here people are so family-oriented. I like that too. So these are the good things that gives me a break from all the work. Mm-hmm. But it's great. I mean, now we made it a very good process. And Noemi is doing a lot, and we have other people helping. It's like a little team. And it's going so well. And we all believe in one thing, to spread this new way of thinking, this positivity, this open-mindedness, which we're trying to spread through the videos, through many projects we're doing, talks, and brands. I mean, we have, after this is getting big, there's a video stuff. Once we reach around, let's say, I would like to be at around 30 to 50 million views a month. It's my goal for the next 1.5 years, for the whole region, not only Hungary. Once that is reached, we have many projects that will start that are not just video stuff, but also in real life. We have a full plan, dream.
You are doing that together?
Yeah, of course.
Do you sometimes sit down and dreaming together and talking about
We have many. Mm-hmm. But all the good thing about how it works so well is because all the things have to do with wanting to make something for other people. None of us sit with this vision that, we can earn all this money. I haven't thought about that once. Maybe, I was kind of a little bit broke at some time. When I bought the house, I was like, it would be nice to just make something, you will earn a lot of money. But it's not been in the idea for years. When people ask, oh, you must be earning a lot. Yeah, but I don't think about it at all.
You're not focusing on the money.
Not
You're
at
focusing
all.
on the job.
And that's why we also try to do a lot of charity work, because it's more important. There's this saying my good friend Adam said, Frederik, do you want to be rich in a poor country? Or do you want to be medium salary in a medium rich country? And I'm that. I mean, it's more important that we develop all these streets. We bring more prosperity to the region. It's much, much, much more important. And I want to get influence here in Hungary and these places, maybe politically, but not maybe politically, I don't know, to have a more saying in being more philanthropic. Mm-hmm. Because the current idea is that everyone is making money from themselves. And it's good, but what if we help other people make money? My idea is, I can say it now, that at some point we're going to make a network. We're going to make a official channel that will be other people. I want to hire other people to do interesting podcasts and videos and stuff. Because the more we can build up, the better we can make it. Also, I think the media landscape in Hungary, so bad. You almost
centralized.
You don't have any good lifestyle programs, cooking, travel, anything since Gastro Angel was in television many years ago.
Yes, I like it.
Me too. Since then, there haven't been any proper stuff. And we want to make that. I want to go in there, take that. Mm-hmm. The hardest thing in Hungary is right now that people are a bit conservative, culturally conservative. So if you don't have a degree in something, I'm not going to hire you. And that's hard. Because when you come autodidact with a skill that no one else has, then you should have it. It's the same with acting and movies and a lot of stuff in Hungary. It's so, you want to go down to the book. But if the person don't have the skills, what does it matter? I mean, I can read something like this. I can do a degree in something, but it doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Do you feel the pressure that if you are going maybe a little town that you have to say something good? Or do you feel the pressure that you are holding something on your shoulders because you are you are building people, you are building towns in that way?
Lehet, igen, van egy súlya. Igen. Mert ilyen város, vagy nagyfalu, van egy ilyen különleges identitás. Minden falu van. És ez nagyon fontos, hogy csinálni a videók. It's very important to get this in the video. This little identity or what it is. Because it's going to tell to possibly millions of people about this place. So it has to be respectable. Sometimes it doesn't succeed. Doesn't get too well. Sometimes I misunderstand something. That's the language barrier. But then we always have the vision. If it didn't go, we're going to make a proper one. We're going to make one more. And then we do these long documentaries on YouTube. Those are more interesting. We work weeks on those. Because that has to be 30 minutes. That has to be professional. It's different work. A lot of people watch that too.
My first impression when I saw your videos maybe half years ago on Facebook, that you helped me to become proud of the place. Yeah. I think that this is one of the best. In one sentence, if I have to choose one, what is your impression about you? That you helped to become proud of the city where I was or where I live.
Yeah.
That's exactly. A really good part of the social media, which is mostly it's something more. It's became something else.
Exactly, and that leads back to my first thing, that I want to inspire people to stay and fight, to be proud of where they're from, because in the end, you're going to be dead in the grave, and you want to be proud of you fought for something, and that is also the mission. Because when you see some of the videos, 1,000 people write, go there, we want to see you there, and I really want to. But it also has to be professional, and we gotta tell the right story. That's why sometimes we go to a town, walk for 30 minutes just to feel, talk to people, see what is this really about. Because I can just go, know nothing about it. That wouldn't be good. But I'm trying to research. I research a lot. I don't script before, but I research, so I know all the stuff. And I try to talk to many people as possible. and get the real atmosphere.
Megállítasz az utcán embereket, és kérdezgeted, hogy ez a templom az...
Persze.
Tényleg?
Persze, igen.
Azt hittem csak úgy elmész, aztán úgy vakar.
Nem. Szóval ez nehéz munka. Szerintem a sok influencer, ők élni egy külön világ. They live in a different world, más világ. And when they go to somewhere, they're totally not in it. They're just coming from a different world, and they do their thing. Whereas I'm trying to get down and feel it and get it in under my skin.
Hard to be in present if you are working behind cameras and monitors.
Oh yeah, it is. But that's because I've done it for more. I've been doing movies or series or stuff longer than I've not done it in my life. As I said, since I was 12. So that, and I'm 25.
It's strange to talk with somebody who 10 or 11 years younger than me, and you have a lot of wisdom, I can say, about... Okay.
Hülyeség.
Okay. Hát hülyeség, oké.
Also that.
Oké, de hogy megfogalmazol olyan dolgokat, amiket általában nagyon sok ember csak már akkor mond, amikor már nagyon sok szaron túljut az életében, hogy elkezdi értékölni, hogy azt, amilyen van. És te az a nagyon különleges abban, amit te csinálsz, hogy te más embereket segítesz abba, hogy értékeljék azt, ahol vannak, meg azt is, amit csinálnak. Hogy legyenek rá akár büszkék is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Danish mentality.
I'm just asking that if you have a free time, maybe one day, where should you go?
But there's many places. It's also the people. I have many friends in center.
Really?
I have many friends in small towns. And in Gjør, I also have many friends. So it's also for the people. Page, I have many friends too. Szeged, I think, it's a really, really nice city. It's a really European city because infrastructure, development, everything is there. I think Baranya and Page is the most beautiful, but a lot of things is lacking. They want to do a lot, but it's not happening. I want to do a lot in Page too, and still will, but we need an airport that's bigger than it is because it takes 3 hours from Budapest, 4 hours almost. You cannot bring tourists there. And tourists they need for the money.
Ha először elutazó egy faluba vagy egy városba, most először vagy Adán egyébként? First time? Or just going...
Da, először volt.
Először. Mi az, amit először megnéző egy városon vagy egy falun?
Még semmi.
Nem, hogy Adán mit néztél meg, hanem hogy általában mit szoktál először megnézni? Bemész a központba, sétálsz egyet?
Igen, a központ, a templom, that's fontos when we go to a city, a town. Ha egy sváb falu, lehet az épületek, és nagyon más a házak, de egy igazi magyar város, vagy szerb város, és csak a központ, amin boltok vannak, amin közös helyek vannak. Ez fontos. Igen.
Mert az a nehéz, hogy nagyon sok helyen már nincs is ilyen központ jellegű dolog, hogy úgy föloldulnak.
Van.
Van?
Yeah. Me even as a sanat. Van. Oda templom, van egy, on the other side of the street is a bolt. So three benches. That's a központ.
You know that, have you ever heard that word, that University of Bolt előtt?
Bolt előtt, yeah.
Bolt, yes.
I know, it's classical. What I will say is one thing that I like more here than Hungary is that in every small town you still have shops. If you go a lot in Hungary...
That's what I also like, that little shops.
Yeah, but in Hungary, when they made the Nemzeti Hadóanyag-bolt, it destroyed every village shop. And that shop has been important for 40 years in every village. But with one governmental decision, they destroyed half of the local communities. It's very sad, but it's what it is. And it kind of happened in Denmark too. They said for the small shops in the towns, we're going to raise the taxes, which they shouldn't. It's small towns. They're keeping the small towns alive. Whereas what I love here, you have a little city like village, like Heidukovo. Very few people live there, but you have 3 restaurants, 2 shops, some special stuff in a small town. I mean, I kid you not, I go to the same size in Denmark, there is 1 shop. That's it. Or not even. So I like that in Serbia still, they have all the local stuff. And in Hungarian villages up here in Serbia too. Very good. Whereas when I'm working in Baranya, there's a lot of villages with 2,000-3,000 people. There's not 1 shop. And I'm just thinking they must have to drive everywhere to get anything. what I like. That's why if I'm gonna find a village to live in, there needs to be a cafe and a shop. Don't need to be more, just that. So I can walk down and get it.
Tudod, hány pizzéria van Adán?
Nem.
Hány helyről tudsz pizzát rendelni?
Nem.
8, 10, 12 in Ada. We have
Hajra, Ada.
food. Igen, van, várja, egy pizzázó, van egy olasz étterem, van egy klasszikus étterem, van egy hamburgező, van egy barbecue grill, egy kis tóval, oda menjetek el okvetlán. Tehát, hogy legalább van egy 10 hely, ahol tudsz házhoz rendelni. Ez a házhoz rendelés, ez nálunk Adán, ez brutál. Tényleg sokan vannak. Meglepő. Az lehet, hogy mindegyik van egy kis struggle, because of the hogy kevés ember él itt, de nagyon sokan rendelnek a gyárba ugye kaját.
Igen.
Miközben dolgoznak. Igen, mert szerintem ott az ipari zónában ott van 1-2 ezer munkás. Annyi ember dolgozik ott is. A kaja, az itt Adán, ez egy ilyen elég erős. Sokan szokták mondani, hogy azért jönnek ide egyébként. És ez most furcsa, hogy te mondod, hogy van egy bolt egy faluba. Itt meg Adán, érted, van egy 10-12 hely, ahol I can order pizza.
And I think, also what I like about Szabadka, especially Szabadka, is that if you go to Szeged, Pécs, Debrecen, everywhere in Hungary, in the big cities, they have 3 malls inside the cities, shopping malls. In Szabadka, if there is one, it's outside.
The shopping?
Stop shop. It's outside the city. Which means, if you go to Szabadka today, the whole Belváros is full of shops and people walk around. If you go to Pécs, the main street, Király utca, is empty every day.
I was there and I don't understand where should we go.
Yeah, because they built the Arcade mid in the city. And it's the same in Denmark, they do that too. And it just destroys every local life. And that's the same thing, I think, that with now Aldi and Lidl and all these coming, they are also taking away all the local stuff. I know they say hatásáról sometimes, but the real hatásáról is what you can get here still. So I really believe also in a more climate-friendly world that we have less of all these big chains and more local stuff. Farm to table more. Mm-hmm. It is really my passion to promote that also, but I like that you go in Szabadka, you want a new shirt, you go, walk, and maybe on the way you walk, you see someone you know, or you grab a coffee on the way. Boom, you already made more business. Whereas you go to the mall, you have McDonald's there. You have all these New York, all these brands, which all the influencers, my colleagues, are loving and promoting.
But you are loving local stuff.
I'm loving what Hungary is. It's not to rant. I'm going to rant a little bit more. I'm not going to have many friends when I return to Hungary, but I'm going to tell you what I cannot stand is that these influencers promote stuff that has seriously nothing to do with Hungary, and they call it Hungarian. And
that's why I don't understand that smash
fake.
Burger stuff. Because why we want to eat smash burger? Why somebody want to do smash burger in Serbia?
It's in Serbia, maybe not. In Hungary, I get it.
Okay, because if you don't choose smash burger, you have to eat gyros because they have no good street food.
Let me say it this way: I get why there are different options accessible. Mm-hmm. I get why you have a smash burger place. I do like a smash burger.
I also different. Like it. Yes.
But the problem was I see in Denmark. We have a little town close to me. Mm-hmm. It's a town of 10,000 people. There are 8 kebab shops. 8 kebab shops. The same kebab.
I think they're also in Germany.
Yeah. And in some places in Hungary, you're also getting it. What can trigger me is that if people see all these foods as their number one choice, because it's fun. I was a pizza chef for many years. It's good, and one a week or something like that. But people go every day to the kebab shop. And it's becoming so normalized, and all the healthy food is also dying out. I mean, smash burger can be very good, and I do like it. And there's some great ones in Hungary. But then in Serbia, I cannot understand it because when you have this good meat here, pleskavica and all this stuff. But again, I saw in Bosnia and Montenegro, they don't really have McDonald's
because
their food is better. Their food is much better.
Oh, of course.
But again, it's the same. I can accept a Hungarian chain becoming a chain, a Hungarian restaurant. I do like Simon's Burger. They have this very nice way they built it up from scratch. But when you have an American chain coming into a country, and I can tell you what's the most popular restaurant in Denmark by consumers? McDonald's.
Really?
Not Danish restaurants, McDonald's. So I can just tell you, when you then come in and you have an American chain or foreign chain who don't have a vision, come in, everyone jumps on it. We already cheap. And I like that here in the Balkans that they're a little bit more, our food is good. Whereas in Hungary, McDonald's is thriving. Burger King is thriving. KFC is thriving. I have lots of people I know and friends who say, where do you want to go to eat? Here we can have a purkurt. Oh, but let's have some fried wings at KFC. Same price. I'm just, yeah. Maybe once it's funny to try, but I grew up on an island. I had McDonald's when I was 12, first time. And we came away from the island. Oh, what is this American thing? But in Hungary, it's become so normal now that it lives with you. And it's not healthy food. You don't know where the food is coming from. And you have so much great food around you, especially Hungary and Serbia. And yet you choose this fried sort. I don't get it. I get in Denmark maybe, but not here. There's a food capital of Europe. These regions, Hungary, Serbia, Romania also. And yet we choose this fried bullshit. It's so weird, no? And I always ask people, why do you choose it when you can have all this delicious food? That's healthy also, some of it.
You should notice that in Zenta, they also have Lidl. Nem akarok ellene semmit sem beszélni, de tudod, elmész a Lidlbe, meg tudsz venni mindent egy helyen. Az van, hogy én mikor kisgyerek voltam, akkor én minden reggel nem szerettem piacra járni, mert apum ma reggel 7-kor kellett piacra menni. Nem szerettem korán kelni, mikor 12 éves voltam. És tele volt a piac. Hemzsegtek az emberek. Persze. It was 15 years or 20 years ago. Now, kimentem a feleségemmel most a piacra a gyerekre, és így a standoknak a fele üres. És csak így lézegnek az emberek. De hogyha elmész a Lidlbe, meg az Ideába, meg ezekben a nagyokra, azok még tele van. És ott veszik meg a zöldséget, meg a gyümölcsöt, meg a mindent.
But then at least, I would say, then at least have the local shops. If there's not a piac, then at least have a Serbian shop or Vojvodina shop. Because what I see then in Hungary is that then you have all the German shops. What does they have to do with Hungary? If you don't have the piac, sad, fine, but then let's have Hungarian shops. Because we have Tesco in Hungary, we have Lidl, we have Aldi.
Penny
is not Hungarian either. I mean, where is it? In Denmark, we do still have Danish shops. But where is it in Hungary? Whereas here, I'm proud that in the... Coop, but...
It's Hungarian.
Yeah, but is it even a shop? It's very small. But I just... Spar, they have in Hungary too. It's German too. But what we don't have is, in Denmark, we still have some shops that are Danish-owned and really Danish. And that is important. They're some of the biggest businesses in all of Denmark. We should have that in Hungary too. I like that here you still have Konsum and Idea, which is Balkan, right? But, and then you say the center thing. It's great. But I think we need more. But it's also hard for a small business if Aldi can make it half the price because they have child labor or something. I don't know what they have, but I could imagine that there's something. They have a supply chain that makes everything cheaper. I don't know.
Most of the time they are hiding the supply chain.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
if this conversation will be your last one on the internet, and you have only 1 minute to say something to everybody, what it will be.
If you look in that camera, then
no, just talk with me.
My last sentence sounds sad. I don't hope it's going to be, but I really do enjoy living here. It's an amazing life, I think. We have everything I would need, but I also made everything for myself and for Noemi and our family and everything. It's an amazing job, and that I have the opportunity to travel this much, explore this much, live my own dreams and passions because of all the amazing people who watch this. That is more than I ever could ask for. I didn't expect it to be like this. But people are amazing. And Hungarians sitting and watching, Serbs, Croats, Romanians sitting and watching at home. It's so amazing. And I want to dedicate many, many, many years of my life to do this. And everyone who says, go there, I'm going to go at some point. So, yeah, that's it.
Szuper. Nagyon szépen köszönöm, hogy eljöttél.
Szívesen.
Az a kamera pont le ismerült, ugye?
Ja. Szerintem is.
Jó.
További szép napot.
Amennyiben tetszett a műsor, kérlek iratkozz fel, nyomj egy lájkot, írd meg a véleményed kommentben, akár kritikádat is, és hogyha úgy gondolod, hogy erre a műsorra valakinek szüksége lenne, kérlek, oszd meg vele ezt a videót. Nagyon szépen köszönöm.